Hey, good evening, everyone. It's your boy Limited Production. I'm just making a video real quick. Um, and this is going to be probably an unpopular opinion here, you know. And so I was just chilling today. I actually didn't see much of all the happenings. In fact, I actually missed a really cool announcement today of Dragon's Dogma 2 being in development. Which, if you haven't played Dragon's Dogma, it's a really good RPG made from Capcom. The combat is where it shines, man. That combat and gameplay is excellent in the game. So I recommend it. And I say that to say this. I always try to be honest here. I always try to be, I try to be as objective as possible. I try not to bullshit you, and I try not to give you any opinions or views that aren't mine. And I gotta be honest with you. When I saw the outrage over Final Fantasy 7 not coming to Xbox, I understood it, but I don't care. When that was announced a couple days after Starfield, after seeing Starfield and seeing Final Fantasy, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to choose Starfield over Final Fantasy 10 out of 10 times, you know. And sometimes, as I say, it's not really the surface of it, it's the principle of matter. And the principle of matter is on something like this, and is that, well, Square Enix and Sony are screwing over Xbox fans who want to play Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy is not owned by Sony, Square isn't owned by Sony, and so on. So in that respect, I understand the criticism, and I understand it quite a lot. So yeah, if you're a Final Fantasy fan, it does suck that you won't be able to play Final Fantasy Remake on Xbox anytime soon or possibly ever. But I gotta be honest with you, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Square Games really that hot? I mean, they just sold off their Western developers, so companies like Montreal Idols, who I think are superior to their Japanese ones. They're the guys who made the Tomb Raiders, the Deus Ex, and my game of the year last year, Guardians of the Galaxy. So Square Enix don't have them no more. So now they're going to rely on Final Fantasy as their big blockbuster IP. And if they want to lock it behind whatever Sony's paying them for exclusivity, then so be it. I know Final Fantasy 16 coming out next year on PS5 as well. Hey, so be it. You're probably not going to like what I say here. You probably want me to be more militant and say, hey, Phil Spencer, you need to do better and get more Japanese games on Xbox. But the truth is, we are getting more Japanese games. We got games like No More Heroes 3 and Soul Hackers coming to Xbox this year. Both look pretty fun, especially No More Heroes 3. I really dug what little I saw. Gungrave Gore, again, a game that piqued my interest coming to Xbox. So you won't really find me really upset about this. I don't think I don't. First of all, I'm going to be honest with you. Final Fantasy peaked in 1997 when Final Fantasy 7 first hit PlayStation 1, and after that, uh, can you honestly say after that they've really hit their highs? And hey, all in. If you're not busy, man, you want to hang out real quick and talk about it. But yeah, man, and you're right, it is overrated. And I'm saying this as somebody who look, I, as I always say, I'm honest with you guys, right? So I own multiple Final Fantasy games. Final Fantasy 13 is pretty much just walking straight the whole game. Final Fantasy 15 starts off slow, but is actually not that bad. And I know my brother 100 loves that game, so I'll give you that. Final Fantasy 15, it's actually not that bad of a game. But I don't think it compares to like a Starfield. You know what I'm saying? Look, uh, the next year, no, I'm sorry. The Final Fantasy game that's coming to Xbox this year looks pretty bad. Hey, no worries, my man. No worries. Thank you for watching, regardless. And I know we got a massive time difference, so I actually forgot that it's still working hours out there. So my bad on that. But yeah, Star. All right, here we go. Yeah, Starfield looks infinitely better than that Final Fantasy Crisis Core bullshit I saw today. And if you watch that trailer, you're going to understand why people are mad, because that looked even worse than Final Fantasy 7 Remake. that looked like a 360 game, and that term is thrown around a lot when a game don't look good. But man, oh man, when you see that trailer, whew! And what's up, KTJ Gaming? Thank you for joining as always, man. And so it's just stuff like that. Hey, man, it's business, and the thing about business is that business isn't always going to favor Xbox. And I know Microsoft is this massive company. Yeah, they are, and they put their money to to company like Activision. Let's be honest here. Call of Duty is one of the biggest games in the world. One Call of Duty game is the equivalent of like five recent Assassin's Creed, not Assassin's Creed, but five recent Final Fantasy games, right? And so that's why, you know, hey man, that's why you won't find me upset about this. It's just business, and I'm not going to get upset when Sony does a business. I'm not going to get upset at every single business move Sony does, uh, because that's just kind of foolish. Sony can't compete with Microsoft head to head, so Sony's going to do what they always do: buy shit to stay off of other platforms. They've been doing that shit since the PS1, right? So, so it's really no surprise that they're going to do that here. Oh well. Meanwhile, Microsoft owns Bethesda and soon to own Activision. And if you're going to sit there and honestly tell me with a straight face that the modern Final Fantasy 7 has anything on Starfield, I'm going to call you a liar. And I respect Final Fantasy's history. And no, Final Fantasy didn't start on PlayStation; it started on Nintendo. For those who likes to throw that one, and I'm even the camp that if it's a third party game, I do think it should be on every platform. But really, man, Microsoft can't buy everything. They're not going to throw their money at every fucking game. Uh, Shit like this is just going to happen, you know. And I don't really see much point in getting upset every time a Japanese game skips Xbox. When one, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think all these Japanese games are great, and two, again, like I said a minute ago, it's business. You're not Business is going to happen, man. So look, Sony try to pay for Starfield, right? They're not getting Starfield, and as a result, everybody and their mama trying to downplay Starfield recently. Oh well, as I said, I'm saying the same thing there. Oh well. Oh yeah, thank you, day of 4568, and thanks for joining. Xbox has Persona. You know what? That is another thing. I know it's not favorable, but almost. Thank you, man, because you just really just opened up my brain there, Daya. Um, when it comes to Xbox, deal notice how all these games that we were told was never coming to Xbox eventually came to Xbox. Now I know the term eventually is kind of the issue here. A lot of you wanted day one. I get that, but I'm just saying we're in the world of never say never. If you ask anybody 8 years ago during the Xbox One days, if Microsoft would one day own Bethesda and Activision, everybody would call you a liar. So let's also not rule out anything in the future. And I also want to say this: there was a report earlier this year, back in January. I even made a video on it about how mainline Final Fantasy games were skipping Xbox, and this was something I believe Square said back then. And it, and it sucks if you're a fan of it. If you're a fan of it and you're on Xbox, it really does suck. And I do sympathize for you. Don't I don't want to seem like some asshole here who thinks only my views and my opinions matter, right? Because that's not how the world works. But what I am saying to you is that, hey man, sometimes it's just the luck of the draw with these things. On Xbox, we got Starfield, Avowed Fable, and the best Western RPGs demand coming to our platform. While which means that since Xbox doesn't have the presence in Japan unless they paying for it, they're not they're they're probably never going to be in a situation where they just get every game day one. So my suggestion to you is just right now support the Japanese games that do come to Xbox. Show these companies like Square Enix that yes, you're making a bad decision having these exclusivity deals only on PlayStation, and that you'll make money when it comes to Xbox. Have the success that Sega said Yakuza had, that the creator of Scarlet Nexus said that game had. I don't remember who the developer was, so forgive me there. But you remember that with Scarlet Nexus, he came out and said, "Hey, thank you Xbox and Game Pass," when it had 2 million players or something like that. So yeah, that's my suggestion. If you're upset, go support that Final Fantasy game that's coming out this winter. Show them that there's money to be made, so that in the future, Sony's dollars isn't the only thing that matters to them. And if it works, it works. If not, hey, we still got Starfield, we still got Avowed, we still got Fabled. Xbox is not by any stretch of the imagination lacking in RPGs. Hell, this within the next year, Xbox fans, you'll be able to play Persona and Starfield. If that isn't a win in your book, I don't know what is. So my reaction whenever I see Xbox fans get angry and stuff is always to just mellow out, chill out. Everything will be fine. You know, every things. If you haven't paid attention as an Xbox fan, things has really worked out in our favor a lot. Um, and yeah, like Delia said, support the those who are bringing the games to your platform. Yeah, and look, the situation to get the game to the platform isn't always a deal. I know, so I know others get upset. That Microsoft often pays for these games to come to Xbox, but hey, sometimes in business you gotta do that to get that audience. Show your audience to get these games accessible to your audience. For years, people have asked for Persona on Xbox, and this year it's finally happening in October. As a matter of fact, Persona 5 comes out the same day on Game Pass as Scorn. So for a lot of people, that's going to be a wonderful day for them. They'll play Scorn and Persona 5, all both on Game Pass, both at no extra cost. So you see where I'm getting at here. You know, um, everything to me about this stuff is just everything's still in Xbox favor. Starfield is way bigger than Final Fantasy right now. I don't care what anybody says. You know, it's not 1997 when Final Fantasy 7 hit and blew everybody away. The recent Final Fantasies, the people love 13. No, I remember the criticism of 13, and I felt that criticism when I played. Is that you just it's like a one long corridor. You just walk straight the whole game. You know what I'm saying? So these so and Final Fantasy 14, the online MMORPG, that one's also had a lot of success. I'm actually surprised that's not on Xbox more so than the remake. Um, and yeah, like All In said, variety, man, variety. Variety, man, and that's Xbox to its core. All in. If you like Persona, you'll be able to play it. If you like Scarlet Nexus, you can play it. If you like a Starfield, you'll play it. So just because one or two games or some Japanese games get Xbox, yeah, it sucks. But it's not like back in the day where, or even like the eighth gen where a lot of these games skip Xbox, and it didn't feel like there's an alternative to the same level that we have now. And boneless, boner, dear Lord, dysfunctional dick. Hey man, you need to get that worked out if that's your problem, man. 13 was ass. Yeah, yeah, man. And you're not the only one who feels that way. And 7 was better. Yeah, hell, you could make the argument 7 was the peak of the series, and that was in 1997. And I guess that nostalgia is why a lot of people do want Final Fantasy 7 on Xbox, right? And how you doing, Fatal Charade? Everything is good, man. I'm talking about Square, and I missed it. I missed the broadcast, so I'm going off the trailer I saw. So Square is putting Crisis Core Final Fantasy on Xbox this year. It's on Xbox, Switch, and PS5 this holiday, and it doesn't look good in my opinion. And a matter of fact, a lot of people don't think it looks good, and that's why they're upset that this is coming to Xbox but not Final Fantasy. And I do want to remind the audience there was an article this year about how main Final Fantasy games might be, and it was a rumor at the time, and I was trying to report it as that. Um, Mainline Final Fantasy games might be skipping Xbox, and with 16 being exclusive to PS5, and now this, and you remember earlier this year that Final Fantasy Secret of Origins came to Xbox as well. So it seems like that's going to be the case. And all insurance Game Pass changed narrative. Yes, Game Pass did change the narrative. And I'm going to ask the chat a question in a second, if y'all don't mind. Y'all don't mind interacting a bit. But Bossy the Great, is Starfield solo or co? It's a solo single player RPG. Think of like Mass Effect or the Outer Worlds, right? How those are single player RPGs. It's in that lane. As long as they bring the PC, I'm good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right. Oh, that's a good point, Fatal. It will be. I think those games are coming to PC as well. So good point there. I forgot. I forgot that a lot of y'all PC players as well. So thank you for reminding me of that, man. 2023, they're gonna have to delete their Twitter accounts. We'll be laughing when that happens to all these. Yeah, man. I mean, unfortunately, unfortunately, there's always a bit of an overreaction to things, Lewis. We're in a what have you done for me lately? So stuff from even days ago could be ignored by the latest news. Well, not Starfield. People are still talking about that game. It's either the greatest thing to come next year or the worst thing to ever exist, and Bethesda's letting you down. For some reason, there seems like there's no middle ground with Starfield. I'm in the camp that the game looks amazing, and I can't wait to play it. And I'm going to be ended up selling my damn soul to play the game or some shit when it hits next year, because that looks like everything I want, man. I love games like Mass Effect and The Outer Worlds, and if it gives me that same space adventure, it looks like it could possibly give me even more of a space adventure than those games. Then yeah, sign me up. Sign me the fuck up. Hey, Pyro, how you doing, man? And I'm good. I'm good. I'm just talking about um Final Fantasy VII remake not coming to Xbox, even though Square announced this worst looking Crisis Core game. Ooh, it does not look good. It does not look good. I'll play Starfield. I can't wait to travel. Yeah, same here, man. Same here. A bunch of planets, different biomes. Who knows what kind of alien creatures and people you meet. Bethesda games often have great stories and stuff, but a lot of them side quests. Those side quests be memorable like hell, don't they? Whether Oblivion, Morrowind, Skyrim, I can't wait to see what they cooked up in terms of that, because they got the writing on point for that game. Especially if y'all didn't know, Starfield, the protagonist is going to be silent, so that means that there's going to be a lot of dialogue options again, instead of with Fallout 4 where there's only four due to a certain amount of lines that can be recorded. So yeah, man. Everything about I just think that Starfield's just on a whole nother level than these Final Fantasy games, these modern ones at least. And look, I gave credit to some games. Final Fantasy 14, the MMO game, has been a massive success for the fans of those genres. It's not on Xbox, which again that surprised me even more than this stuff. But yeah, I just don't see why people would get upset about it. And hey, if any chat is willing to answer, what do you guys think? Are you guys Final Fantasy fans, or what? Is this something that upsets you? I mean, I don't have a problem if you disagree with me or not. I don't have a problem with that at all. It's gonna happen regardless. But yeah, that's just my stance on it. Yeah, and I think I got everything off my mind here that I want to say, because I just saw and Fatal said it doesn't upset me one bit. Yeah, same here, man. Because when I saw the outrage over it, I was just like, I must admit I don't really care. I did see someone say something that I do disagree with. And let's see. Pyro said, "Good, bud. Square Enix are becoming the Japanese equivalent of Activision Blizzard under Bobby Kotick. Games have unreasonable expectations set to cut dev bonus headstrong on NFTs just hollow." Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. I forgot that they said that after they sold their Western developers about getting into the NFTs and blockchain and all that. That is a good point, Pyro. Uh Now, oh hey Pyro, and did you guys see about one of the Activision devs possibly making a RPG according to some job listings? That should be interesting. I don't know what the plan is post 2023, but I have a very, very, very good feeling that us Xbox fans are once again gonna be happy with what's revealed. And Lewis says Starfield would end a lot of careers of these flake neutrals on social media. It's going to be game of the generation. Final Fantasy has nothing on what other Japanese games I play. Yes, yeah, man. There's a reason why Phil Spencer said Sunday that and Sarah Bond, it's the biggest RPG in 20 years and stuff. Because remember, people are still playing Skyrim, Lewis. Isn't that something? Yes, man. Go ahead and go search it up when you get a chance. I don't. I use the free version of this, so I can't really post stuff like that. Like I would usually do. But yeah, man. Apparently, one of the Call of Duty devs are gonna make a RPG soon, so we'll see. And KTJ says, I would love to play Final Fantasy Remake on my Perform platform, but it's not the end of the world. Yes, that is exactly my point, KTJ. And again, I look, it sucks that you can't play Final Fantasy on Xbox. Well, the mainline Final Fantasy game on Xbox if you don't own one in terms of 16 and 7 remake. But unfortunately, that's going to happen, man. These companies play business, and Activision, I mean not the Activision, the Xbox business model right now is clearly to get these publishers to get content on Game Pass and Xbox and stuff, more so than time exclusivity and all that, which is the Sony strategy. I don't think Xbox needs to play Sony's same game of getting time exclusives. But but with that said, I do understand how it sucks to see third party games skipping Xbox because Sony is willing to pay for them when Xbox isn't. So facts. If it's a brand new IP, it'll be yeah, exactly, man. Same. Look, start. We knew about Starfield long before all this stuff came out. That Sony was trying to pay for Starfield to be on PlayStation, right? And and yet look at what happened after the Activision deal went through. Starfield is exclusive. Hey, same thing for making it, man. If you got some time, you could feel free to join. It's always better to have somebody along with stuff like this. So some people are really good at going live solo. I feel like I'm not personally, but it seems like this is going well for a Thursday night, And this is just something I just did impromptu because again I saw because I was just chilling, and I saw a lot of this just anger over Final Fantasy not coming to Xbox, even though this Crisis Core bullshit is, and so that's what prompted me to start this video. And look, guys, if you're Final Fantasy fan watching this, I get it, but mellow out. It'll be okay. And if you look at it, it seems like everything comes to Xbox eventually. So and it's not the end of the world, in my opinion. Yeah, I wouldn't mind at all if Xbox work with Western or European companies to create its own gaming identity, like how unique Xbox is. Yeah, yeah. Isn't that what they're doing now though, with the likes of? Because you could, I mean, Daya, it's we could all say right now Xbox is the RPG box, right? Because they have Obsidian, makes awesome RPGs. Make have an Exile, which made some classic RPGs. I don't think people realize their history with RPGs, and have Bethesda, who is releasing the biggest game of next year, right? So yeah, man, I'd say they're already doing that, working with Western and European companies. The thing is, they're owning these companies that they're working with, and because last generation was not good for third party in the Xbox in terms of the overall result. Whereas the rest of the gang, oh hey, Fatal, this was just me doing something impromptu. I didn't hit anybody up because it's late, and they're on the East Coast too, so it's like 10 p.m. then there, so it's really late for them. So this is just something I'm just doing off the cuff, just hang out for a little while, interact with the chat, because when others are here, it's a little harder to interact with y'all, and I actually love chatting with y'all a lot when I do this because great comments, man. Love having love interacting with the commenters. Wish I could do it more too. And Pyro said, I was hit in 2014 customer detail leak from PlayStation had $1,500 stolen. Holy shit. I never buy into their is. Yeah, man, if that happened to me, I wouldn't buy either. I would not. Holy moly. If I lost $1,500 from that, oh my god. Well, yeah, I couldn't even finish reading after that. But let me see what else he said. I'll never buy into their ecosystem again. So it annoys me I won't get to. Yeah, I understand that. I do sympathize with you, man. Well, hold on. Let me say this, Pyro. Never say never, because remember, people said Persona was will never come to Xbox, and look at where we are now. So never say never, my friend. If anything, say that it sucks that you gotta wait a couple of years, you know. And Gay said yes, Western RPGs. Yeah, yeah, man. That's one of Xbox many identities. Because to me, their identity is Game Pass more than any specific genre. Because you know that's why they got Forza, now they got Halo, Doom, Wolfenstein. So they got the first person shooters on lock. They got the RPGs on lock. You can make the argument they need more third person games. Even if it's a third person RPG or something. So I could see some room for improvement on their variety front, but everything's looking good on my end. Oh man, hey, it's 3 a.m. Okay, well you did use the pound, so you're across the sea. But hey man, I'm glad that you're joining me at this time of the morning over there. Lewis said, agree. I'll catch up with the rest of this. Hey, yeah, have a good night, Lewis, man. Thank you for joining. Again, this is late pretty much everywhere but like California. So I get it. I get it. Listen, I'm nearly 40 now and I'm not waiting. Oh man. Uh well, I'm not exactly 40 yet. You got about a decade on me. Well, yeah, you got a little under a decade on me. So I get it, man. Time flies by as you age. All in said, bro, Game Pass. Yeah, man. Hey, Game Pass is a whole different monster. All in. Game Pass is a whole different monster. Uh, sometimes sometimes you kind of. I don't want to say you got to ignore Game Pass because you can't, like you said. But it'll make the conversation boring if Game Pass is the only thing we talk about, in my opinion. But yeah, man, we all know Game Pass is phenomenal. Hey, man, I posted some gameplay that Ninja Turtles game that hit gameplay the game today. Fun beat 'em up, and that's the beauty. That's the beauty of Game Pass, isn't it? Hey, Absolute Sword, thank you for joining. Nobody will beat Xbox when it comes to RPG shooters and racers. Exactly, and that's hey man, who had the best platformer last year? It was the Xbox first party studio, Double Fine. So their list of genres that they're great at, a sword, absolute sword, is not limited to just those three. Now those are some heavy hitters in the gaming world, yeah. So they got a lot unlocked. Um, I don't. Hey, what's up, Fire Boss? Long time, my man. We interact on Twitter, man, but it's been a long time since we really just worked together, hasn't it? Yeah, what's up, man? I hope you enjoying the quick conversation here, where I was just talking about why I got to be honest. I saw a lot of Xbox fans upset with Square and Sony and Final Fantasy, and I'm not on that train. I just see it as a business move and one of the rare few that's not benefiting Xbox fans. The joke was more that this show was Final Fantasy VII 25th anniversary now, and it took 10 years for. Oh, wait, has it been? It was 10 years since for Persona 4 to come to Xbox? Huh. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not as well versed in some of them Japanese games as I am the Western games. Sim uh Daya said Xbox also does sim games and strategy games. Yes, they do. They do. Um, uh, Age of Empires. So yeah, that's what's up. So Fire Boss. He said, I used to be, but I don't care anymore. What is this in reference to? I guess Final Fantasy. Then Fatal said, but what I want to know is why put Crisis Core on there, not Final Fantasy VII Remake. I am not 100% sure. But there was a report, and hopefully you could get a chance to look it up, Fatal, back in January, stating that, and it was a rumor at the time, stating that mainline Final Fantasy games was going to skip Xbox and be exclusive to the Sony PlayStation, and that seemed like the case. Because earlier this year we got Secret of Origins Final Fantasy on Xbox, and now we're getting this bullshit Crisis Core game, which sometimes leaving a first impression is a big deal. Not always, because there's plenty of surprises out there in gaming. Man, this did not leave a good first impression. And Fatal said Age of Empires Force. Yeah, what I can't wait till they bring that type of game to console like they did Gears Tactics. Because remember, Tactics was on PC first, then came to the Series X. I think day one too. So yeah, man. Hopefully they bring it to console soon. Fireball said, "Yeah, Final Fantasy. Yeah, hey man, hey, it peaked in 1997. So fight me on that one. 360 fighting game of Persona. Yeah, oh yeah, Persona 4 Arena. That's backwards compatible too. All in. That's backwards compatible. Halo Wars and Gears Tactics are good games tied to Xbox. Yes, they are, and they're different. You know, RTSs aren't for everybody. Tactics and strategy games, I don't think are for everybody. When I think of games that are quote unquote for everybody, even though technically no game is for everybody or no genre is for everybody, you think of stuff like shooters and RPGs and I think right and like action adventure games and stuff like that. I think is seen by the general audience as for everybody, even though that is kind of a not possible, right? I don't think AOE 4 can work on consoles. Okay, that's fair. I admittedly don't know enough about RTSs. I mean, are there not RTSs on Xbox though? I feel like that they're smart enough to make it work because a lot of smarter people work for these companies. All right, Pyro man. Oh, good talk to you, boss. Hope you're good. Oh, I thought you were about to leave. My bad, my bad. Gotta go. Yeah, man. Hey, take care, man. Thank you for joining as always. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Yeah, man. The chat has been absolutely fantastic. I know it's late. It's late for a lot of us, and you know that's why I'm going solo here. That's why I'm going solo because I sometimes you just don't want to disturb any people on a night like this. Let's see. Daya said Square should just commit to abandon Xbox and own it. They don't care about their fans anyway. They only care about money. I just ask that they stop pretending at this point. Hmm. I'm not sure I agree 100% there. In the sense now, if Square is going to be purchased by Sony, then maybe. But the way that I see it, as many games as possible that come to Xbox, the better. So even if we get these bullshit Final Fantasy games, somebody's going to like it, right? Now I know people would rather have the mainline ones, you know, and that's why people are upset. But still, I'm rarely ever going to be on the side of having less games, even if it's games I don't play. Fatal Shroud says they would have to get rid of a lot more macro commands since the entire genre needs mouse and keyboard. Okay, gotcha. Hey, man, but hey, that's Xbox for you. Remember, Xbox isn't just Xbox. Microsoft isn't just Xbox. So I'm not going to sit here and make definitive statements like that. Halo Wars 2 is a RTS. Yeah, I thought so. Absolute Sword. It's not about the money. Uh, for her. Oh, let me. He kind of put things. I'll get to other things. Comment in a second. It's not about the money. If it was, they'd be happy to stay go multi-plat. Hey, good point, Fire Boss. Good point. And that's why I like interacting with the chat. Chat, y'all bring up some points I'm not even thinking about here. Halo Wars is an RTS and it works perfectly. Yeah, man, Halo Wars was dope. For what it was, it didn't click with me as much as I would hope, but it was something different, and I respect different. Vodka said keyboard and mouse works on Xbox. I use it for space engineers. Oh, if that's the case, yeah, to bring Age of Empires 4 to Xbox, if that's the case, you could uh, maybe you could streamline any commands that aren't workable uh, um, with controllers only. But hey, man, I'm all for more games on Xbox. What happened? What Xbox has as its biggest asset is the variety of a variety on of no matter what is your preference, Xbox has you covered. Game Pass brings you all that you can eat with fries. Yeah, that's true, Pyro. That's true. The variety. Look, has not locked themselves to any specific genre, nothing like that, right? So, so if you're an RPG fan like me, you're good. You know, if you're a shooter fan like others, you're good. If hell, we were just talking about a whole couple of RTSs like uh, 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 Halo Wars and Age of Empires. You're even good with strategy games and RTSs and stuff. So yeah, the variety is excellent on Xbox for sure. And it's reasons like that to tie it back to the topic at hand is why again I gotta be honest, I don't care that the Final Fantasy games are skipping Xbox. If I had the choice between Starfield and Final Fantasy, I'm choosing Starfield 10 out of 10 times. Vodka said my kid only likes playing State of Decay on keyboard and mouse. There you go. Uh, see, I've never, I didn't even know it was active with keyboard and mouse. But you learn something new every day. In an excellent game like State of Decay, well, oh man, do I love State of Decay too. I love that game. To see that your kids like playing it that way, your kid like playing like the way, love hearing it, man. Love hearing it. Because that's gaming in a nutshell. Play what you like, how you like, and the fact that many don't seem to grasp it or they don't want to grasp it or whatever, it's kind of disappointing. It's kind of disappointing. Oh, I think I'll wrap it up shortly here, but hey man, chat, absolutely fantastic stuff, guys. Absolutely fantastic. Uh, just, I mean, I've got to be honest with you. I don't really have anything else to add on the topic. So if you guys have anything else to say, shoot it my way, man. Before I close it for the night. Just wait and see if any comments come. Yeah, I think I'm gonna close it here, everybody. I don't want y'all to deal with any dead air or not. I don't think dead air is fun, huh? You know, I doubt people want to sit there and just listen to nothing. So yeah, well, so what games would you like to see Xbox do more? Hack and slash games. I'm a big fan of hack and slash games. I don't think we got enough of them last generation, right? So I'd like to see more hack and slash games. Didn't Sony fund the original Final Fantasy VII? Maybe that's the reason. Maybe, but the hell, whatever the case is, there, Sony's strategy is clearly aggressively pay for time exclusives. While Xbox is aggressively get games on Game Pass, and I think the Game Pass strategy is better than the pay for time exclusive strategy. They should make a Age of Empire 4 available on console digitally only, but a firm warning that keyboard and mouse. Yeah, well, hey, Pyro, anything to get more a larger audience to these games, I'm all for. If they could get it working on console, I think that'd be wonderful. I think that'd be wonderful, definitely. In the future, let's see here. No, they did not. The advertising for free back. No, they did not do the advertising for free back then. And he said, Fatal said, I wouldn't mind seeing another Rise of Nations or Age of Mythologies. Yeah, yeah, definitely. I wouldn't mind either. Actually, I'm thinking Rise Son of Rome, not Rise of Nations. So I'm guessing Rise of Nations is another strategy or RTS. Because Rise Son of Rome was that dope. It was a good game. I don't personally I didn't think Rise was like great, but I enjoyed it. I played on the harder difficulty and had a lot of fun with it. I thought the game was a little too easy, but at least it had at least it had cool combat. Which for me with my taste in gaming, you can win me over if your game's fun. Your game could be yeah, even like this Crisis Core Final Fantasy game, it does not look good. If I play it one day, maybe on Game Pass, probably not, and it's fun, I'll come back and say that I was wrong. Sorry, Unlimited. That was in response. Oh, okay. Sony paying Final Fantasy initially. Oh, I got you. I got you. I got you. Yeah, man. But like I was saying, if the game is fun, I could forgive a lot of flaws. I am not. I am not one of the people who need to take a monocle and or something and deeply look into these games. And I'm not thinking. I don't mean the word monocle. I meant a telescope. Maybe not even telescope. My brain ain't working because it's like 9:30. So my bad. Yeah, I'm not one of those people who need games to be perfect all the time. It's nice to have them big budget games. Yeah, but hey man, a good game is a good game has always been my motto. First and foremost, when I'm gaming, I want to have fun. That's why I don't have the same love affair with these Sony games a lot of people have. Because to me, slow walking and watching long cutscenes is not my idea of my fun. My idea of fun is when controller in hand and doing some wild shit like I did in Sunset Overdrive with all these creative guns and stuff. Gameplay over graphics. Yeah, exactly, Pyro. Gameplay over graphics. And again, it's nice to have good graphics. That's part of the fun when you have powerful consoles that do 4K 60, but they are not the end all be all, in my opinion. Because there have been plenty of great looking games that are boring as hell. Metal Gear Solid 5, Crisis Core was a PSP launch title. Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense, Vodka. Thank you, my friend. That makes a lot of sense on why it did not look good if it was a PSP title. As a matter of fact, you remember that game Final Fantasy Type Zero? It's on Xbox now. That was a PSP game too, or PS Vita, one of those two. And so when you start it up, you might be a little surprised, but by the way that game looks too. So that makes a lot of sense, Vodka, on why I was not the least bit impressed there. Death Stranding, yeah, man. Yeah, slow. That game does everything wrong. The Arch Full Escape. Yeah, I like the Arch Full Escape too, and that's the type of game that normally I wouldn't be into, but I was into it. The music or rhythm games, whatever it's called. Had that pretty good story. I like Violetta in it. And so yeah, oh, and the colors were gorgeous. The colors were gorgeous in the different worlds and stuff in that game. The Darkful Escape, I enjoy it. It's one of those games that if you're an achievement hunter, that's an easy gamer score right there for those types too. I'm not. I do not care about achievements, and I care even less about trophies. I am not one of those people who is a completionist. Like to me, completionist is doing the side quests in games, but I'm not doing stuff like collecting collecting 200 artifacts in a game for 20 gaming score. I am not doing that shit. No. Yes. Of course. Yeah. So, uh, I never know what to say at moments like this. That's okay. Everything's a working experience. Let's see. I got 40K gamers. Hold on. I got 40K gamers our last year. You got 40K gaming score last year. You mean? Hey, man, that's what's up. That's what's up. If that's how much you got. I play what I like, and hey, if I get a lot of game score, cool. If not, no biggie. Like Cyberpunk, I put I got like 80 or 90 hours in the Cyberpunk 2077, right? Um, I don't. I think I got like 17 achievements in that game. They want to play Hellblade because Senua looked like the Celtic villain on R. Hey, Hellblade. I liked Hellblade overall. It, unfortunately, when you weren't doing the puzzles or in the game or in the actual game, that is where it where it's that's why people were calling it a walking simulator. But it's not a bad game. I love the theme of mental health it touches on, and I think Hellblade 2 is going to be brilliant. Celtic villain, huh? I did not put two and two together there, Vodka. I did not put two and two together at all. That one. Pyro said, but I played a lot, finished my very little. Yeah, my gamer score is auto corrected into gamers are. Oh yeah, yeah, I figured so. I figured so. Hey, autocorrect's a bitch, man. How many ducking times did that happen to people? But I play. Yeah, that's how it is, man. It's impossible to finish every game we own, in my opinion, anyway. Sometimes games are going to grasp you, and you end up beating it and loving it. Other times you play it and you finish it, and it feels like a grind. Other times you just move on. Nobody's gonna finish every game they own, unless you own like 6 games and that's all you play, maybe. But otherwise, especially if you subscribe to Game Pass, hell no, you ain't finishing nothing. You ain't finishing a large majority of nothing because it feels like it. Look, if you try to play everything on Game Pass every day, you're gonna have something new, and you ain't gonna go nowhere. I played Rise later, but I ended up liking Hellblade. Hey, I like both, Vodka. Now I played Rise first. I played Rise. I played Rise way back in the day. Uh, Hellblade wasn't on Xbox until later because it was a PlayStation time exclusive for like a year or two. Then it came to Xbox and I bought it digitally. Then they released a physical version. I was like, yeah, I'll just add it to my collection, and own it outright that way. And it's enhanced, and it's only enhanced on Xbox too, so that's cool. Hellblade is, has all the bells and whistles on the Series S and X. Hey, and so hey guys, so what game are you guys looking to for the rest of 2022? If you're still out there, because 2022, I gotta say, the first half of 2022, I'm gonna be honest with you, I've been enjoying my backlog more so than newer games. Today, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles beat that's been fun. That's been a lot of fun. And Raphael's my favorite Ninja Turtle, so I've been playing as him all day. That's been a lot of fun, man. My backlog is over 350. Last year was an effort to reduce that amount built up. I also about 40 games last year. I am my own worst enemy. You are speaking to the choir, my friend. Because look, as I always said, I'm both a gamer and a collector. So and Pyro, there are always sales on games. Always, man. You think some random time of the year, like a random Wednesday in May, there wouldn't be a deal. No, you go somewhere, boom, find games like a lot of $10 or some 3 games for $10 or something, or there's a sale on the Xbox store. The ease of getting games now, Pyro. Oh, for people like me, it could be maddening because you know that you're never going to be able to get to everything. And then I've been into I'm not heavy into retro collecting, Pyro, because that market is kind of getting a little oversaturated. Some games are getting a little too expensive for my taste. But when I find a cheap 360 game, for example, oh, I'm snatching it up, man. I am snatching it up. Daria says, same here. My backlog has been keeping busy. Yeah, man. I'm gonna be honest. 2022, the first half had not lit the world on fire. You know, uh, I if you were to ask me my game of the year right now for games that released already, uh, I'm gonna be honest. The best games I played this year was finishing Cyberpunk because I started that when it came out. So finishing Cyberpunk, I love that game. It's one of my favorite games ever. Type, I love it. Beating the Outer Worlds, that was brilliant. That was a brilliant game too. Just such a great RPG from Obsidian. So yeah, man, my backlog's been carrying me all year. Right now, I'm playing Lost Judgment, and while the Yakuza games didn't click with me, y'all, Lost Judgment is fun. The problem is it has the problem. It does a pet peeve of mine in gaming. I don't like long cutscenes. I don't like super long cutscenes at all, and these cutscenes and Lost Judgment are just way too fucking long. Sometimes I'm putting down my controller, and it's like, oh my goodness, it's still going. And it's weird because if they found a way, the story is interesting, right? If they found a way to make to make the story part of the gameplay, I think it would work better for me. Other Zinc said, "Oh yes, Hot Wheels come out in July. Oh, and I can't wait, man. Hot Wheels come out in July. Mutant Turtles came out today, and it's a lot of fun. Flight Simulator, yeah, that has an update. I think that update's already there, huh? Halo Infinite and Gears 5 4. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Other Zinc, that's been the best stuff for 2022. Definitely. What to look forward to this year? Game Pass Ultimate. Yeah, yeah, that's true. I'm trying to narrow down specific games though, but yeah, you can't go wrong with the Game Pass. I'm looking forward to a Plague Tale Requiem, Warhammer Dark Tide, and Gotham Knights. Yeah, same here. Hey, speaking of which, uh, did they ever give a new release date for a Plague Tale? Because it was supposed to come out in June. It was supposed to come out this month, and now it's just back to 2022. So I don't know what the release date is anymore. But it's gonna be day one on Game Pass, so that's gonna be a lot of fun. So yeah, absolute sword, man. I'm with you, especially Gotham Knights. For me personally, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I pre-ordered that $300 collector's edition, man. That's how excited I am for Gotham Knights. As you see on my avatar, Green Lantern from DC, so I love my DC stuff. So yeah, Gotham Knights is number one on my list, especially when everything got delayed to next year. 2023 might be the greatest year in human history of gaming, because everything is apparently releasing next year. It's the digital sell 80% off with my Game Pass subscriber just makes too much sense. Yeah, man. Sometimes hey, and you know what's crazy, Pyro? Those deals be ridiculous. You'll end up with like ten games in your cart, $40. So especially with the backwards compatibility stuff, where they be like $3 each, $4 each, $5 each. Oh, it'd be ridiculous. Hot Wheels is DLC, yeah, and it's going to be the best DLC of the year, Sword. And let's see, they said the Ninja Gaiden trilogy is so good. I've been loving that, but I need to play Turtles tomorrow. Oh, Ninja Gaiden is an amazing franchise, and Ninja Gaiden is a big reason why I want to see a resurgence in hack and slash games. Daya, games like Ninja Gaiden and hell, even God of War 3, I think is a ton of fun. And not that bullshit 2018 stuff. The God of War 3, the one that was remastered, even that is a ton of fun. So yeah, man, we need a resurgence and hack and slash games, in my opinion. So hopefully the gaming world starts getting on that. We good on RPGs, we good on beat 'em ups, we good on platformers, we good on all the genres that I tend to love, stealth games, you name it, name it. So yeah, man, I just want to see hack and slash return to form because I love that type of combat in those games. And 2022 as a gaming year to me is a weird year because it seems like the second half is going to be way better than the first half. Because again, I I couldn't tell you a game of the year so far with a game that came out. Um, because I don't want to say the games that release hasn't been good. They just haven't grasped me like that. And I don't want to rant on a game like Horizon because somebody might say, "Oh, what about the PlayStation exclusives or something?" Horizon is one of the most boring fucking games I ever played. And I'm gonna leave it at that. Pyro said, and what I spent, I get 10% back. Oh, hey man, you reminded me. Reward points. Please do not ignore reward points. They will stack up. Reward points are so good. I saw somebody on Twitter somehow buy an Xbox Series S based off reward points. You could stack up on Game Pass with reward points. That Microsoft Reward Points is an underrated gem. I don't know how many people are taking advantage of it or not, but please do not ignore it. Jay Dizzle, hey, what's up, Jay Dizzle? I never cared for Final Fantasy at any point in my gaming history. Don't give a shit about Square Enix either. Yeah, for me, Jay, now that they don't own their Western devs that was making Tomb Raider and Deus Ex, I really don't care about them. 'Cause I actually like Deus Ex and I love Tomb Raider. But they're not Square Enix property anymore, So, no big loss here. Starfield is going to blow it away. Yeah, absolute sword. 2023 is going to be insane. It really is. Because everything was delayed till next year, it felt like. E- Even on the Xbox show, 2023, 2023, 2023. Good stuff, but slow down, 2023. There's only so much time in the world. I want to play Ravenlock, Starfield, Wulong, and who knows what else. Oh, Suicide Squad. Even third party games like Suicide Squad, I can't wait to play. And at this rate, I don't think there's going to be enough time in the world for all them games coming out next year. Sometimes delays are not always a bad thing. All right, let's just put it that way. Sometimes a delay could give you a damn break. It feels like. Pyro said, when we saw Koei Tecmo Team Ninja at the showcase, I really thought they were going to announce a new Ninja Gaiden. Yeah, same here, man. Same here. And that would have been cool because Ninja Gaiden is a fantastic series. But hey, that Wulong game could potentially be good too. Team Ninja makes some fun games, and what I like about Team Ninja is that they understand combat. A lot of devs don't understand the importance of combat in these games. So yeah, man, I thought so too. I was not disappointed by Wulong by any stretch of the imagination, though. I was not. I was not. See, hats off to Capcom for not doing the time exclusivity deal for PlayStation. Hey, Capcom has been killing it. You know what I'm saying? Oh well, they're killing it might be too strong, but they are doing well. All right, uh, uh the Resident Evil games. Resident Evil 4 is my favorite Resident Evil in the series, so I'm not surprised it's getting a remake. The trend was clearly pointing that way, so I can't wait to enjoy that. Did y'all see Dragon's Dogma? I don't. I'm not sure how many of y'all are y'all aware of Dragon's Dogma. I am. I think it's a fantastic RPG with excellent combat. So the fact that we're finally getting a second one after 10 years, that's amazing. Hey, Capcom, they had their low points last generation. They're definitely picking it up. All right, KTJ Gaming, have a good night, man. Have a good night. Jay Dizzle said, "Facts only care about Tomb Raider. That's gone now. So Falcon, yeah, yeah, that's where I'm at with it too. Um, uh, I respect the history of Final Fantasy. I understand a game like Final Fantasy 14 is massively popular for the MMORPG. I respect what Final Fantasy 7 did back in the day, but it ain't no Starfield. And I'm telling you one thing: Starfield is going to be the killer next year. They have a lot of physics data for combat purposes. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Excuse me. They understand how to make them fast paced games and everything else in between. They definitely got a good track record. And I'm saying this as somebody who's usually hard on Japanese games and Japanese developers, if I'm to be honest with you. I don't hate Japanese games. I could tell you some off the top that I love. Near, Scarlet Nexus. I've even enjoyed Tales of Arise from last year. And I'm getting some enjoyment out of Lost Judgment, even if I'm not the biggest Yakuza fan. So there's a lot of good stuff, Japanese stuff on Xbox, and the more to come to Xbox, the better, right? Persona is finally coming to Xbox. Games people ask for, and and even though right now you might be looking at it as a Final Fantasy fan or whatever and saying these games are never coming to Xbox, and I'm saying this: never say never. In this game, in the modern gaming world, drop that phrase. Something's never going to happen because clearly we've all been wrong. None of us would have predicted Activision. None of it would have predicted Bethesda, and none of it would have predicted Persona. Well, a lot of people did predict Persona. I'll take that back. But never say never on Final Fantasy coming back to Xbox. It's the Sony fanatics that treat them like the second coming. Yeah, that is true. And they're only doing it because it's exclusive. The moment it's not, it's going to be back to just being standard games. That's all, Spike. But thank you for joining, man. You missed a joke as they brought jiggle physics to the game with DOA 2. Yeah, they did way back. The type of stuff you can't get away with now, a jiggle physics. All right, everybody. I'm gonna call it a night there. Your boy still got work. It's Friday tomorrow, so the weekend's almost here. And thank you everybody for joining though. The chat was fantastic. Like here, I like those games, but I could admit many of them are movie games. Yeah, yes, Mike. The chat was fantastic, man. I gotta hang out with you guys another time. um, just to shoot the breeze like this, and keep have this type of conversation. But everybody, have a good night. Enjoy your weekend. Keep it gaming and everything else like that. You know the deal, right? And great show. Hey, thank you, Other Zinc. And with that, I'm out.